Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Chuck Chat, November 18th, 2020. Always like to start off with a little humor. We'll try to do that again today and get my computer working here. Okay. He wants to return some shade trees because they stopped working in November. I guess I'll text Grace this year. Dude, I have a ton of online followers and they all want to have me over for dinner. Yikes. I see you surrounded by family. Well, not your own family. COVID-19 in Westminster. We currently have 3 active resident cases of COVID-19, 1 in the Arbor Healthcare Center, 2 in independent living, and 2 active associate cases at this time. All are recovering. All residents are on isolation in their homes. All associates are on isolation at their homes and recovering. I will show you COVID tracker analysis for the state just a moment. The Arbor Healthcare Center and Assisted Living is shut down to visitation unless end of life, resident wellness, and essential designated caregivers. No group activities or dining in the Arbor is allowed at this time. All Arbor residents are restricted to their rooms, and that's the case for assisted living. They're not having any group dining either as a precaution because of the cases. You can see that we're continuing to trend pretty high with the numbers as far as the state goes, and everybody's aware of what the county is doing. We're over 1 million cases in the state of Texas, so it continues to increase. Still very red, a lot of cases in Texas still well north of 3,000 per day, and it's been that way for several weeks. For us at Westminster, since March 9th, we've had 15 cases amongst the residents. We've had 20 cases amongst the associates, all recovered. We have had 1 death of a resident. And we're very sad about that. Total tested since this all began is 2,891. We are testing healthcare center and assisted living associates twice a week, I should say, until we have no infections. Our infection rate is 1.83%. Please do wear your mask like London is at the top of the screen. This is the way you should be wearing your mask. Please make sure you're wearing your mask all the time when you're outside of your apartment. If you are receiving any services inside your apartment, you should be having a mask on. Lots of questions this week. Recent news reports have said there's a drop in occupancy in continuing care retirement places like ours because of the pandemic and people choosing to age in place. What is our current occupancy level in independent living, assisted living, healthcare, memory unit? What is the status of the wait list for independent living? And marketing told us the new buildings, Infield Tower and Carlisle, were fully reserved and sold. Is this still the case? So our occupancy in independent living is 94.4%. Our budget occupancy is 95%. So it is down a little bit, but we have a lot of traffic in marketing, and I believe that that's going to increase over the next few months. Remember, we didn't do any tours for several months, and we just started that practice back up. So people really aren't willing to lease apartments that they cannot see. Our occupancy is 100% in assisted living and 83% in the healthcare center. And the healthcare center occupancy we have held around 80% because we wanted to be prepared for COVID cases that might come from independent living. And also we haven't allowed outside short-term admissions from the hospital, although we continue to get inquiries for those admissions. They're not guaranteeing us that they're testing every single patient before they discharge them, so we have not been taking them. Wait list is still 181. It's down just a little bit, but some of those people on the wait list have actually been moving in. Yes, the new building is 100% sold, and it continues to be that way. We have about 100 people plus that are on a wait list, priority list for apartments for the Carlisle and the infill tower. The selections have been completed for the folks that are moving into the infill tower. And if anybody drops off, it's typically because they're moving into Westminster now and not waiting until the Carlisle's built. When that happens, we backfill with one of the priority list members. So we're really not too concerned about occupancy. Lately, residents and apartments in the Windsor building have had intermittent power losses. Does the healthcare center also lose power when this happens? And does the memory care or memory unit also lose power? Yes, to a degree, but there are backup systems that serve life safety within the healthcare center. So we have a generator. Yes, the memory care has lost power, but again, there are emergency systems that remained active. The power changeover has been completed, and this should not occur due to construction going forward. Unfortunately, when the circuits were moved over to the new transformer, and then the generator changed over as well, those circuits were changed over. We had to interrupt power so those circuits could be moved. There was no other way to do it. So that's over. It has been completed, so we shouldn't experience that again. But our staff is well aware of the schedule for these and healthcare, and we have done our best to comfort the residents, and we haven't really had any huge disruptions in healthcare. So why do Windsor residents have to hear intercom all clear messages for alarms in the Preston building? Why don't Windsor residents hear intercom all clear messages when there have been alarms in the Windsor building? And when the new buildings are completed, will we have to hear all of their intercom all clear messages too? So currently there is not a way to separate the all call function within the emergency system, so that basically that message system we call an all call. It's through the emergency nurse call system, and there's no way to separate the two buildings. And it's been like that for some time. We've talked about it. Windsor residents, I will say that we're going to correct that in the future. When the infill tower, before the infill tower comes online, we will be building tiers within that system to separate the buildings and also levels of care. But we need to upgrade the system to do that. We'll be doing it at the same time we bring the new systems online. Windsor residents should have an all clear announced in their building after an alarm. We have addressed this with the staff, and this procedure should improve in the near future. When the new buildings are complete, the systems will upgrade to separate buildings and levels of care for these announcements. So we will be able to create tier levels that will separate those messages. And that should improve the inconveniences. Can you mention the updated speed limit on Bull Creek and Jackson Avenue? Yes, the new posted speed limit is 30 miles per hour. Also be aware that there are speed humps on Jackson Avenue that have been installed. And if you're not paying attention, it will wreck your car, so be careful. Really, you shouldn't be driving more than 10 to 15 miles over those speed humps, so be careful. What is the estimated completion date for the Windsor Tower addition? This is estimated to be complete and ready to occupy in March of 2022. We may get it faster than that. Hopefully we'll have the restaurant section, so the bistro, dogwood cafe area online before that. And because it's not necessarily a new occupancy, we should be able to use it. But that's a conservative estimate, so March of 2022. Has the cookie delivery from dining services been discontinued? Yes, I believe it has, but there will be other surprises during the coming weeks, so be on the lookout for those. What is the estimated completion date for the Carlisle? And that's estimated to be January 2023. So we should have our occupancy permit in January of 2023 and actually be moving residents in. What phase are we in? So I assume that's phase of reopening. What does phase 2 mean? Everybody knows that we are in phase 2, and I'll try to explain that in a minute. Will we be going back to phase 1? And I hope not. But if we continue to have infections in independent living, we will have to go back to phase 1. Phase 2 means that staff resident-led activities are increased to 20 or less. Some limited indoor activities for up to 30 in Harrisville Hall with a sign-up sheet is possible. Social distancing must be maintained and masks must be in place to participate. Up to 50 for outdoor activities is possible. Laurel dining room open to 50% capacity, so that's about 70 people. With social distancing, you must wear your mask unless you're consuming food or drink. Visitations increased to 2 visitors per visit at designated locations by appointment only, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I'm going to keep those hours and those restrictions in place. Limited service providers are allowed in independent living with appointments set through resident services office. So Robin Aiken's office, you call and set those appointments, and no more than 2 per month. Will we have a new personal trainer? Yes, we will. Ev Chanu is starting today. It's her first day of orientation. Ev has 25 years of experience, is certified in kinetics, also licensed massage therapist, ACE certified personal trainer. She's a certified yoga instructor and is ACE certified fitness instructor as well. She's going to do an incredible job. Our dining program, just to offer some reminders, we are open to 50% capacity, and that started November 4th. And our hours of operation are 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. Last seating will occur at 7 p.m. We will continue to provide meal delivery to your homes. There will be a limited menu in the Laurel to start, which will expand over the next few weeks as we ramp back up to serve in our restaurant. I just saw and approved the new menu that's coming out. It looks really good. Lots of bistro favorites on it, so look forward to that. Continental breakfast will continue to be delivered to your homes, and reservations are required in the Laurel dining room. Construction update, just to show you a couple pictures. You can see that we continue to move dirt and gravel out of the hole. Lots of work going on there. They probably will be complete with removing this around the middle of December. And then also around the middle of December, I believe, is when the tower crane will be installed. You can see here that the Windsor Tower, they're preparing for it. The power changeovers occurred. They moved the generator, so it's coming along. Just to give you an update on what's going on, there's a 6-inch sanitary wastewater line for the Windsor infill that is being installed. This will require closing parking stalls along the north wall of the existing parking garage and the easterly exit to install and connect the plumbing waste line. The work should be done in about a week. Tentative start date is November the 30th for that. Bridge number 2. Work is ongoing with a complete approximately the end of January. Structural steel begins yesterday and today. Electrical work inside Windsor level 3 and 4 hallways is ongoing. Completion is expected around the 23rd of December. Demolition at the Windsor backup generator area, that was done 11/16. Hopefully everything's been done. It was dependent upon Austin Energy, and you know how that goes sometimes. Demolition of Windsor garage walls start 11/17. Windsor courtyard utility trenching, so that started on the 16th. Windsor pool windows, tentative start for framing and waterproofing is December the 3rd. And they should be able to do the majority of that work and maintain the pool being open. So I do thank you for your continued support and patience with the construction activities. This is just a construction look ahead. I tried to include, we'll try to put it out with the chat summary. You can see that Thursday and Friday, the 26th and 27th, they won't have any activity. Those are days that they'll be off. But you can see the mass excavation continues, the shoring continues. And this is just kind of a spreadsheet showing what I've talked about already. But I'll try to include this in the packet so you can see it. Just again, the overall site plan. I've showed this quite a few times, but residents like it, so here it is again. just to show you what's going on and what we'll have when we're finished. I will mention that when I talk about the second bridge, number 2 bridge, that's the bridge addition that connects the Preston directly to the pool area and to the commons. So this is what they're working on right now so that we can maintain this pool use while they do this work. Some building grounds projects that are ongoing. Preston interior window work. I was told yesterday there were about 216 apartments completed, so I did not update this slide on that. Solar film has been started, and it's continuing to be worked on. Preston flooring replacement, they're now on the 3rd floor. So the 4th and 5th have mostly been completed with the carpet installation. Preston HVAC update. So cooling tower has been replaced. The chiller has been received and is being installed, should be completed by the end of this month. And we'll be removing the old one over the next, which we've already actually done. So hopefully this project will be complete by the end of the month and the mobile chiller will be removed. The 4th floor laundry room will be enlarged over the next couple of months, so look forward to that project. Just again, our holiday recommendations. Westminster highly recommends following the CDC's guidelines and avoiding large family gatherings during this holiday season. You know, alternatives, I don't need to tell you what those are, but just so you know, telephone, Zoom, FaceTime, Westminster campus visits, etc. People who should not attend in-person holiday celebrations, and this is kind of repeat information, but those people with or exposed to COVID-19, if you're exhibiting any symptoms of COVID-19, if you're waiting for COVID-19 viral test results, if you may have been exposed to someone with COVID-19 in the last 14 days, or if you're at increased risk of severe illness from COVID-19 or the flu, such as seniors. If you decide to visit your family, avoid close contact with people, especially those who are actively sick. Cover your cough or sneeze with the tissue, then throw the tissue in the trash. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Wash your hands, often with soap and water, for at least 20 seconds, or sanitize with approved sanitizer. Wear your mask and practice social distancing of at least 6 feet. If overnight stay, travel, or extended family stay, so I consider extended family stay anything more than 2 hours. Upon return, immediately quarantine in your IL apartment, contact resident services or the wellness clinic, then you will be tested for COVID-19 on day 5 to 7. You will end the quarantine if the test results are negative. If positive, you'll continue the quarantine. Just a reminder, prospect tours, we are doing prospect tours on Wednesdays and Thursdays, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Those have been booked up pretty heavily. So the tours typically last about 30 minutes. We are pre-screening them before they come on the campus. Then again, when they enter the campus, we're doing a temperature check as part of that screening, of course. Tours are restricted to common pass and requested apartments only. And we thank you in advance for your cooperation and support. Just reminders, I sent out a memo yesterday on this, but we really need to be diligent. We really need to all respect one another and protect one another by following these restrictions, precautions. Always wear your mask when outside of your apartment. Maintain 6 feet of social distancing at all times. Not wearing your mask, even if you're sitting outside, even if you're 6 feet apart, it doesn't work. You have to do the mask and maintain social distancing. Do not touch your face, eyes, or mask. Wash your hands often and practice good hand hygiene. Limit gatherings and meals with others. Limit leaving Westminster to essential trips only. Limit contact with individuals from outside of Westminster. Limit visiting restaurants, bars, outside salons, etc. Limit holiday visits with family. When visits occur, please limit numbers to 5 or less total. Limit time for visits to no more than a couple of hours. Limit travel and overnight visits. Please, please, please be diligent. Independent living visitation reminder for phase 2. This began on the 4th. You may continue to schedule your visits with reception. Visits may take place in designated locations only. Visits are limited to 2 persons for 1 hour. Social distancing and masks must be worn the entire visit. No eating or drinking with visitors at all. Associates will address residents and visitors that are not following the protocol. Visiting hours continue to be restricted from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Visitation is currently restricted to designated essential caregivers for a period of at least 14 days in the healthcare center with no additional COVID-19 cases identified. So just be aware of that. No visitors to healthcare or assisted living for the time being. Stay strong, stay safe. Please continue to be diligent. Remind your friends. Let's all do our best to protect one another. Thank you very much. Till next time. Happy Thanksgiving.